The world is watching a war in the Gulf. But what if the real story isn't who is winning? It is how the game itself has changed. At first glance, it's simple. Two adversaries, the United States and Iran. Both want victory, but wars don't produce two winners. So the real question is, what kind of victory are they chasing? For President Donald Trump, the battlefield isn't just Iran. It's actually a battle in his home. With the 2026 midterm elections approaching, the stakes are political survival. If Republicans lose Congress, the doors open to investigations, even impeachment. So this war, it is not just about defeating Iran, it is about looking strong enough to win at home. But while Washington is focused on elections, Tehran has quietly changed the rules. Because Iran has already crossed its first hurdle, it has survived against the combined might of the United States and Israel. That alone was unexpected. But what came next was the real turning point. The war was supposed to be about nuclear weapons, enriched uranium, long-term threats. But almost overnight, the conversation changed. Now the world is focused on a narrow stretch of water, the Strait of Hormuz. By choking this vital artery of global oil, Iran didn't just respond to pressure. It created leverage, massive, immediate global leverage. Oil flows disrupted, markets shaken. And just like that, Iran opened a second front in the war. Without firing a single decisive shot, under pressure in the middle of a conflict, Iran expanded the battlefield. And it did so without giving up its nuclear ambitions. That's not just resilience, that's strategy. Now the United States faces a dangerous dilemma: reopen the strait or absorb global economic shock. But reopening it may require boots on the ground inside Iran. And that's where the trap lies, because even small operations are proving expensive. To rescue a single airman, the US reportedly deployed over 200 special forces. One mission, over $100 million, lost aircrafts, risks multiplied. If that's the cost of 200 troops, what happens with thousands? Not just in money, but in lives and political consequences. This is the escalation trap. Every move forward pulls the US deeper into a war it cannot easily control. Every show of strength risks becoming a liability. The president's threats to blow up the infrastructure if Iran does not turn around is definitely not helping matters. Because Iran will retaliate by hitting infra targets in Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and other Gulf allies of the US. For the US, it is like doing the same thing over and over, leading to the same results. And all the while, Iran holds the choke point. Back in Washington, pressure is building, frustration is visible, and internally cracks begin to show. Controversial decisions like sacking the chief of the US Army, signals that raise more questions than confidence. This is how wars turn, not in one dramatic moment, but through a series of shifts. Today, Iran doesn't need a decisive victory. It just needs to hold. Because every passing day increases pressure on Washington. And time is not on the side of President Donald Trump. Not with elections nearing, not with a war that refuses to deliver a clean win. So what happens next? No one knows. But one thing is certain, this war is no longer being fought on America's terms. And in the waters of the Strait of Hormuz, Iran may have already turned the tables.